Yeah. Okay, so we start from question number 1 there. This question was direct from the tutorial sheet. Okay, so they're saying question 1. Okay, they're saying Lusaka Apex Medical University on a 4 working days conducted a study to know the number of students who had HIV virus. Okay, then the number of students who tested positive on each day is represented by the following probability function. So the PDF, where this X is the number of students who tested positive after the test was conducted. Okay, so we've been given a PDF here, which is AX plus B, and then we're saying divided by 60. So this is our PDF here for which variables? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if the variables are countable, then we know that that should be a district random variable, right? Okay, so the first question here, they're saying show that 5A plus 2B is equals to 30. So how are you going to show that? So we know that for something to be a valid PDF, okay, then it means that the sum of all the probabilities of these random variables that we have here should be equals to 1. So that's the concept that we are going to use. So we find the probability of 1 plus the probability of 2 plus the probability of 3 plus the probability of these 4, and all that total should be equals to 1. And we are using this probability density function. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so this is my board here. I'm going to write the PDF. So the PDF, we're given that it's X is equals to a small letter X like that. Then this is equals to AX plus B, and then we're dividing by 60. For the random variables, okay, X is 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So we know that when we find all the probabilities here, the sum should be 1. So you're going to say summation of all the probabilities, okay, is equals to, so we start with 1. So we replace, where there's X here, we put 1. You're going to get A plus B divided by 60. Then we say plus, where there's X, we put 2 now. So this will be 2A plus B over 60. Where there's A, we put 3 now. So this will be plus 3A plus B divided by 60. And then plus the last one where we put 4. So it will be 4A plus 5 divided by 60. Okay, so we just have to add all this. And we know that the summation here is always equal to 1. So we're going to put 1 here, and then we add whatever we have there. Okay, so when we add all this, since the denominator is the same here, so it means we can add all the like terms that are on top here. So A plus 2A, that's 3A, plus 3A, that's 6A, plus 4A, that's 10A. So I'm going to write 10A here. 10A plus, and then let's add the B's. So B, 1B, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4. So I have 4B here. And then all this is over 60. Okay, and then from here we can cross multiply. So you cross multiply, you're going to have 10A plus 4B is equals to 60. Okay, and then we realize that we can divide throughout by 2. So we're going to have 5A plus 2B plus 2B is equals to 30. And this is what we want. This is what we wanted to show. Okay, so we've done the first part, which is part A. We've shown that 5A plus 2B is equals to 30. Okay? So any questions there, you're welcome to ask. Okay, so if there are no questions, I'll go to B. So on B, what do we have? Okay, so we've shown this. So on B, they're saying given that the cumulative frequency distribution of 3 is 13/20. Find the values of A and B. Okay, so remember we showed that this equation is true. So we're going to take this equation as our equation 1, and then we are going to find another equation using this information that we've been given on B. Okay, so we have 2 equations, and then we can solve them simultaneously to find the values of A and B. So take note that here we are using the cumulative distribution function, right? So we have to know the formula for the cumulative because this is a capital F. So whenever you say capital F, that's just the cumulative distribution, right? Okay. So the commutative distribution is given by this formula. So this is B now. Okay, so the commutative distribution, let me say f of a certain random variable x is the same as the probability of x being less than or equal to this value of x here. So this is a small letter here, and then this one is a big letter, like this. Okay, so there we were given that f of 3, okay, so f of 3 is the same as the probability of this x being less than or equal to what? To 3. So this is what we have here. So we can use this guy here to evaluate f of 3. Okay? So we've been given that f of 3 is 13 over 20. So you can say this is 13 over 20. But what steps do we have to carry out in order for us to reach 13 over 20? So the cumulative frequency of x being less than or equal to 3, it means you're just finding the summation of the probabilities of x being equal to 0, of x being equal to 1, of x being equal to 2, of x being equal to what? 3. That's what you are finding. Okay. Did I mention 0? No, 0 is not there because the random variables start at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we don't consider 0 here. So we are going to say probability of x being less than or equal to 3 will just be equal to the probability of 1 plus the probability of 2 plus the probability of what? 3. And we know that these were, what did we find there? We found when we replaced 1 here, where was that? We found this, 2, we found this, 3, we found this. So we are going to get these 3 and add them. So we're going to get those 3 and add them. So I have a plus b when I replace with 1 over 60 plus I have 2 plus b over 60. And then I have plus 3a plus b over what? 60. So this is what I have here. So since the denominator here is the same, so it means I can add whatever is on top there. So when I add whatever is on top, a plus 2a plus 3a, I'm going to get 6a plus 3b. And then this should be over what? 60. And then here, what did we say we had? We had 13 over 20. Okay, so you can see the equation shaping up, right? And then from there, we can do cross multiplication. Okay, we can do cross multiplication, or we can say let's multiply both sides by 20, and then we see what we are going to get. Let's multiply both sides by 20. So here I multiply by 20, then here I multiply by 20. So if I multiply this side by 20, it's going to cancel this 20. So I remain with the 13 is equals to. If I multiply this side by 20, I'm still going to have 6a plus 3b. And then this will divide with the 60. So it means here are what? 3. Okay, and then from there you can cross multiply here. So 6a plus 3b is going to be equals to what? 3 multiplied by 13, which is a 39. Okay, so this one here becomes our second equation. Okay, we can also reduce it further because I can see this is divisible by 2, this is divisible by 2, I mean divisible by 3, all of them are divisible by 3. So if I divide this by 3, I'm going to get 2a. Okay, let me write it properly. I'm going to get 2a there, and then I'm going to get 1b, and then I'm going to get 13. So I'm going to have 2a plus b is equals to what? 13. So this is what we have. So we have two equations. We have this equation that we are just from coming up with, and then the other one was that one which we are given in the equation. The one that states 5a 2b is equals to what? 30. So these are the two equations that we have. So we can solve these two equations simultaneously to find the values of what? A and b. Okay, so let's do that. So you can use any method that you want. You can use substitution, you can use elimination, any method that you want. Okay, let's use substitution because I think it's simpler. So if I make this b the subject of a formula here, b is equals to 13 minus what? 2a. Then I'm going to get this value of b and put it here. Okay, so this will be 5a plus 2b. So what is our b? 13 minus 2a. So 13 minus 2a is equals to what? 30. So from here, we're going to have 5a plus, this will be 26 minus 4a is equals to what? 30. Okay, from here, we are going to have 5a minus 4a. We are going to have a is equals to 30 minus what? 26. So it means a will just be 4. So we find our value of A, and then our B was just 13 minus 2A. And our A is 4. So we are going to replace that with 4. So 4, it means we are going to have what? 13 minus 8. What is 13 minus 8? Our B will just be equals to what? 5. Okay, so our A is 4 and our B is 5. So these are our answers here. Okay, so any questions there? Okay, no questions. I'll move to the next one. So the next one now we look at the probabilities. Okay, so they're saying find the probability that at most, okay, find the probability that at most 3 students tested positive. Okay, so at most 3 students tested positive. That's what we are finding. Okay, so it means we are finding this probability here. So let's go to the board. So it means we are finding the probability that the big X is less than or equal to 3. And we said this can be found by finding the probability of 1 plus the probability of 2 plus the probability of what? 3. Okay, so we know the probability density function now because we have the value of A and B. So we know that P of X is equals to a small letter X is equals to, okay, the A was the 4, so 4X plus 5 divided by 6. So this is the PDF, right? So we're going to use this to find all this. So we're just going to replace where there's X, we put 1, where there's X, we put 2, where there's X, we put 3, and then we add. So let's do this. So we're going to say the probability of capital X being less than or equal to 3 is just equals to, okay, let's replace 1 here. We are going to have 4 plus 5. So that would be 9 over 60. Plus, if I replace X with 2, I'm going to have 4 multiplied by 2, which is 8. And then that 8 plus 5, I'm going to have a 13 over 60. Okay, and then plus, let's replace the 3. Okay, if I replace the 3 here, I'm going to have 12. 12 plus 5 is going to be 17 over 60. Okay, again, since I have the same denominators here, I can just add whatever is on top. So this is a 9. I can add whatever is on top here. So if I add whatever is on top, I'm getting a 39 divided by 60, and then you punch this into your calculator, you get approximately 0.65 as your final what? Answer. Okay, so that's the probability of students testing positive. Okay, that would be at least 3 or less. Okay, that one is simple. And then find the standard deviation of this variable. Okay, so we know that for us to find the standard deviation, we have to find the variance. And for us to find the variance, we have to find the expected value, or the average, okay, or the mean. All right, so let's find. So we know that the standard deviation, okay, so standard deviation is just the square root of the what? Of the variance. And we know that the variance is given by what? Is given by the expected value of X squared, okay, minus the expected value of X, and then we square it like this. So notice the difference. This, you have the X being squared here, and then here you just have the expected value of X being squared. So we have to find this and this guy here, okay? So from the random variables that we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and then we have 4. So we just have to find the probabilities of each of these, okay? Of which we're just finding for the 1, for the 2, for the 3. So we just have to find for the 1, for the 4. So this one here, let me write here, this will be the probability of X. So for the 1, we found it was 9 over this here. For the 2, let me even put it in a box like this. Okay, so for the 2, found it was 15 plus cases. And for the 3, we found it was 17 plus 60. And then for the 4, we just replace 4 there. We're going to find 21 over 60. So this is what we get. Okay, so this is what we find here. So let's find the mean now. So the expected value of x, we're going to say it's what? We are going to multiply, okay? So this random variable multiplied by its probability, each random variable multiplied by its probability, each of these, and then we add them. So we're going to say 1 multiplied by 9 over 60. What are we going to get? We are going to get 9 over 60. Okay, so write 9 over 60 plus, then we have 2 multiplied by 13 over 60. So 2 multiplied by 13 over 60 to be 26 over what? 60. Then plus, we have 3 multiplied by 17 over 60. We are going to have a 51 over 60. And then plus, we have a 4 multiplied by 21 over 60. So what are we going to get here? We're going to get 84 over 60. So you get your calculator and then you punch these values here. What are you going to get? Okay, let me punch this. Okay, so when I punch all this into my calculator, I'm getting a 170 divided by 60. So you can express this as a fraction. You're going to get approximately 2.8 and then 33. Okay, so this is what we get. So we have gotten 1/2 what we need to find the variance. So now let's find the expected value for x squared. So x squared. So it means here we are just going to be squaring this random variable and then we multiply by the probability. Square the random variable 2, we multiply by the probability. Square the random variable 3, we multiply by the probability. And then we do the same for the 4. So when we do all this, we get approximately this value. We're going to get 550 divided by 60. Okay, and then in decimals it will be 9.166. Not 19 here, it will be 9. Okay. Okay, so this is our expected value here. So now we have the expected value for x squared and the expected value for what? For x. So we have the two things that we need in order to find the variance. So we're going to say the variance of x is equals to the expected value of x squared, which is 9.166 minus the expected value of x, which is what? This guy, and then we square it. So we're going to write 2.833 squared. Okay, and then we just have to subtract this. So you punch this on your calculator, see what it's going to give you. Okay, so I'm getting my variance as 1.139 approximately. Okay, so our standard deviation will just be the square root of this guy here. So you do the square root of 1.139. What are you going to get? Okay, punch this on your calculator. I'm getting 1.067 if I use 3 decimal places. So this one here will be my what? My standard deviation I've found. Okay, so any questions there, guys, before I go to the other question? Any questions there? Okay, no questions. So I'll move to the next question.